So, hello, Marlee.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm not bad, not bad. How's your day?
It's great. I like your shirt.
Thank you.
I'm
So,
sure my friend Leah Thompson will know, and I'll tell her that I just had an interview with somebody who wore Back to the Future shirt.
oh, now you're embarrassing me now. So, for you, what makes Sian Heder such a unique writer director?
Sian Heder is probably one of the most hardest working people that I've ever worked with. Her passion for this film, for this story that she wrote, that she directed, she made herself completely available for us as actors, as deaf actors, as well as for Emilia. She worked with us. She asked questions. She'd already done her homework. She learned about deaf culture. She learned American Sign Language. She is an actor's director, to use the term. There was no ego involved. There was no, um, I mean, she focused on us and she focused on everything else at the same time. So um, she had a lot to do, but she made the time for each and every one of us. And the trust that she built with us, and then the trust that and subsequently we gave to her, it was totally a two-way street. And again, I was amazed by her writing when I first read the script, and I said that I had to do it, and I told my team that I've got to meet her, so we sat down, and the rest is history.
Perfect, thank you. So, what preparation did you and Troy and Daniel do with Emilia when it came to creating that family unit on screen for Coda?
Before we got on set, I had an opportunity to call Troy and Daniel, and I knew them before we were shooting this film. I wasn't familiar with Emilia, but I texted them and we had a conversation. And he said, "You know what? Because Emilia is new, and I don't believe she's had any experience with deaf culture. I know she's learning sign language. We agreed that the first day that we met her, we would take her out to dinner, get together as a family, and we decided not to have an interpreter with us. The interpreter, actually, there was one off to the side, but we engaged in a conversation and we forced her to join the family. And it turned out that she had already picked up so much. She got it so quickly, and we didn't have anything to worry about. She became an instant member of the family. She learned the hard way, but it was a very good way. And it worked the other way with us too as well. It's funny. The funny part was is that when we would shoot, and Amelia and I would have a conversation, and we would begin shooting, and we would do our lines, and then once we were done, I would have a conversation with her, and she had a British accent. She's shooting this film with her American accent, and I said, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, Amelia, go back to the American accent. I can't read the British accent very well.
Oh my lord. Um, so for you, how do you think visual humor within the sign language helped ground the more dramatic elements of the film, which obviously occur later on?
Well, people will be amazed at watching this film, knowing and learning that we use our hands and our body and our faces as a means to express ourselves, and that can be humorous and dramatic. And it really does invite everyone into the world of sign language and deaf culture. There is, it's you get the entire picture. You understand so very clearly just by what you see on the screen. There are clearly, life is all about different perspectives, but this is one perspective and a story that one could find universal. And some will find on a different level a means to identify. Some will find a means to identify in a different level. And I think that people will just come away from this film thinking, wow, this is great, a great message, a great story about stories and a family that's deaf, and they're just like everybody else, everyone else. But just the one fact that they just can't hear. And I don't know if I'm making sense, but I think, again, it's a universal story told through deaf characters.
I completely agree. I asked Emilia a moment ago if the fact that Ruby existing in both the verbal and the visual community, if I can use the analogy, whether that made her character richer. And I would ask the same. I would ask the same question of you with your character with Daniel and Troy, because it does feel as if they exist hand in hand, if that makes sense.
I would say it does. It's unusual for audiences who've never seen deaf people or have never seen American Sign Language come to the understanding that, oh, wow, okay, yes, you have to pay a little bit more attention, but you know what? I'd rather not see us as communities as one is deaf, one is hearing, and then we're separate. I think we're all people together, and this film really does highlight that. We're just one aspect of the larger, richer community, all one culture, and we just happen to be on this big screen. I think it's very exciting to be able to share our community with you.
It's as I said, I did find I found the film to be it was very emotive. It was very clever in its use of sound and its use of silence. There was the moment everybody may have mentioned to you, which is when the family go to see Ruby perform, and you see the conversation. So you have bits of humor in there, you have bits of pathos in there, and then you have that penny drop moment where the penny drops for the family, because they have the visual recognition and they see the emotion. So that's where the bridge happens, and it's not a question. I have no question. All I can say is,
well, no, but it's an important comment. I get what you're trying to get at. I do. I absolutely understand. That's what I mean by saying that it works on both levels. It works bringing both together, both sound and silence, and you get a taste of both worlds together. And I love your analogy of a bridge. I really do. It's a place where they meet, and it's not only your point of view but our point of view, and so it works. Conversely, and in reality, a lot of deaf people have experienced this. They will have conversations. They're just accustomed to situations where there's nothing that is made clear or understood to them, or they don't feel like they're somehow in an element, or there may not be an interpreter. They're just sitting there, just watching or experiencing, and so they need to engage in a conversation just to keep going. I mean, it's our way of sort of, I don't know how to say it, of entertaining ourselves, while the rest of you, those who can hear, are able to be entertained. But as you saw in the film, our conversation was very spontaneous. We thought, well, this happens in real life, so why? And I said to Troy, let's do this. So we started having a conversation about dinner. He knew where I was starting the improvisation, and so he took on the next line, and we began to improvise together. And it was great. I was doing it with him.
Marlee, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure. The film, I said this to Emilia, and I'm not one for emotion, but I've watched it twice now, and twice it literally reduced me to tears. So thank you very much. And I remember when I was a young man, and I watched Children of a Lesser God. I know it's a long time ago, but I've not forgotten. So thank you for your time. It was important to me. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.